When I was a boy, my very first real job was working in a cemetery. And every day after school, I would walk over to the cemetery and go into the shed, and I'd pull out my lawnmower and I'd begin my job of mowing all the grass around all of the graves. Cemeteries are very interesting. There's old sections, there's new sections, and some of the tombstones were so old that you couldn't even make out who was buried there anymore. People just dead, forgotten, no one even knew who they were. And in fact, some of the graves were so old, the cemetery didn't even have records of who was buried there. And so many times I would look and I would think, who were these people? How did they live their lives? Here I am mowing across their graves, edging around their tombstones. What did they contribute to life? And at a very young age, it made a great impact on me that I wanted to live my life right so that when I died the right way, satisfied that I had done what God had called me to do. Don't you want to be satisfied when you leave this world? And when we come to Paul's words in 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 7, he says these words, "I've fought a good fight, I've finished my course, I've kept the faith." He begins by saying, I fought a good fight. The word fought is the Greek word agonizo. It's where we get the word agony, and the word fight is the same word. It really translated would be I agonized a good agony. It tells us that what Paul was called to do was not an easy task, and sometimes it was not enjoyable. He literally said, I agonized a good agony. That's the way he's describing his fight of faith. It took every ounce of his being, and in fact this word agonizo describes the most strenuous kind of effort. This was no task for the lighthearted. It took everything that he had. I fought a good fight. And the Greek actually reverses it a little bit differently. The sentence structure says, a good fight, I fought me one. It's almost like a commentary on what he had done. A good fight, I fought me one. I fought a good fight. Then he continues to say, I have run my course, finished my course. This word course is the word dromos. And the word dromos refers to the running track that was so famous in the ancient world. And of course, when the runners were running down the dromos, everyone wanted to be the winner. And the only way you're going to win is if you put in all the preparation to win, you have physically exercised, you've been devoted to your skill, to your gift. And when the final day comes, guess what? You're going to be running on that track with everybody else that's trained just as hard as you. Only one's going to finish and win. And Paul says, I have run my race that I might complete it. This word complete means to finish first. And again, the sentence structure is reversed. A race, I ran me one and I finished it. There's a great sense of exclamation and satisfaction. And then he says, I have kept the faith. The word kept is the Greek word teros. It means to set a guard about, to defend with all of one's might. It tells me that Paul had moments in his life when he had opportunity to let loose of the faith. Just like you. You know, we tend to glamorize the Apostle Paul and think that he wasn't a normal man. But he faced hellish moments in his life. And certainly there must have been moments when the devil tempted him to doubt his faith and wonder, what in the world are you doing? Is this real? What are you giving your life for? Is this real or is this a fantasy? But Paul says, no, 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 no. My faith, I kept it. I defended it. I shielded it. It's a powerful, powerful verse. And actually, when you put all of this together, it could be translated like this. A good fight, that's what I fought. My race, I ran it with all my might, never stopping until I knew I had reached the goal and finished it. The faith, I protected it, guarded it, and watched over it with all my heart and strength. In spite of the assaults and attacks, I stayed true to my assignment. It takes real resolve to do anything God's called you to do. Are you a secretary? It's going to take resolve to be the best one you can be. Are you a father? Are you a school teacher? Are you a professional? Are you a pastor? Do you live in Russia like me? For you to do something with excellence and to finish what God has called you to do, it's going to take agony. It's going to take a stick-to-itiveness to keep running regardless of how tired you feel. And you're going to have to make a determination to shield it, to guard it, to protect it, to put all of your heart into it. If you're not willing to do these things, you will never finish your assignment. But if you want to die right, if you want to exit this world with a smile on your face and no regret, let me tell you, friends, you need to fight a good fight, run a good race, and you need to defend and guard your faith. Finish the assignment which God gave you to do.